Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bashir Chalabi. I'm Director of Strategic Initiatives here at Symboticware. Thank you for your time and for joining us today. When I was looking at how to explain our technology and our project with MICA this year, I thought that it is good to start with this map. So this map has all mine sites in North America. It is, I think, taken from the American Geosciences Institute down in the US. You see that there is a huge concentration of them on the West Coast in the States, but we in Canada also have quite a few, especially if you are going up north. And this is a different map. This is a map of the LTE coverage in North America. Which essentially shows where on this continent you can get the high bandwidth internet, which is very important for most of the technology applications. And if we will overlay these two maps, we will come to a very interesting point that many of those blue triangles and squares, they actually exist in the places where no reliable and high bandwidth connectivity exists at this point. And specifically, there are quite a few of them in Northern Ontario, where MICA is actually based and where our company is based as well. There are quite a few in BC, of course in the US, on Alaska and so on. But there are the entire regions where the connectivity is not available. And it definitely has negative effects. And here I thought of putting a bunch of slides of negative effects, but now everyone is using generative AI, so I just created a picture of, I think the prompt was the benefits of technology in the mining industry, and they showed all the cool stuff like drones and connectivity and dashboards. So in the nutshell, these are the technologies. It is, I think, a common sense that they can drive the improvement across the fuel consumption, the maintenance cost, the safety, the environmental footprint, all these great things. But none of them are possible if the connectivity is just not there, because most of the technologies available at this point, they do not exist in the vacuum. They need to talk to the worldwide network. They have cloud engaged in some form or another. So for those mines, these technologies are just not available. Of course, it is not that we at Symboticware were the first people who thought about that, and there are quite a bunch of solutions available at this point. And the first which comes to mind is private LTE, which is great. As a matter of fact, for our technology, private LTE at this point is the best way to deploy. It is very reliable. The one con is that it usually involves very large capex, a few $1 million at least, and each time you expand it, if you're especially an open pit operation, you need to build in more infrastructure, which also generates cost, even though the solution itself is wonderful. There's public LTE, which is even better than private, but I will not even speak about how long it will take to build the public networks, especially if we're talking about those regions in the north with sparse population, where there is just not enough people for the telecommunications company to get their economy in place so that they would make some profit. So it's just too long to wait. And there's the satellite network as well, which is very costly in most cases, and if it is something stationary like Starlink, for instance, you still need to build the infrastructure on the site, which once again comes back to the point of capex, so the problem is not solved. Now, there are other things we can do, and the specific technology we're tackling within this project is the satellite to cellular, and this diagram is a courtesy of SpaceX, which is one of our partners. The technology is based on the very simple premise that those satellites, they will be able to emulate the signal similar to LTE and another high band internet, and you will not need any kind of special equipment to connect your phones in the near future to the satellite globally. So it will be cheaper, the entry barrier will be much lower than the existing satellite technologies. And they use this unmodified cell phone image. In fact, we know that not all the phones in operation right now, they support this technology, so some modification or the update of the hardware is needed. And we're doing a very basic thing within this project. Instead of the unmodified cell phone, we're putting the hardware, the mining hardware, which can be any kind of vehicle, heavy duty or light duty, equipped with our technology. Now, Symboticware, and I'm sorry for this preamble, but Symboticware is the company which is doing this hardware, the connectivity through the partnerships, and the software. We have been working with a variety of mining and not so mining, like Goodyear, for instance, companies for close to 15 years now. And one of our core products built with support from MICA over our previous project is the IoT platform called Symbot, and I actually have one unit with me right now. It goes into the mobile assets, it collects the data from them, it transmits the data, and this all goes to our software platform. Within this project, we are using what we have built as a base, and we're augmenting this platform with the satellite to cellular connectivity, which means the next generation of Symbot, which will be able to connect with these connectivity means, which also will be enabled with the data compression algorithms, specifically for this use case, because you still need to minimize the volume of data so that it is cost efficient. And we will deploy this solution as a pilot on 40 assets at the Detroit Lake Mine in Northern Ontario. The timeline is approximately a year, and we will partner with Agnico Eagle, and we will also work with satellite providers, with SpaceX specifically, although we also benchmark other solutions available in the market. Now, why it matters? So this is how it is going to work. The technology will help us to bypass a variety of the connectivity means, so that you will not need to pay for any of those. It will just be very, straightforward and cost efficient. And as a mining company, if you are one of those sites which are not connected, which did not make this investment in private LTE, you will actually be able to generate a variety of utilization benefits around the fuel consumption, maintenance costs, safety, and general visibility of your assets. But even if you are one of those companies which have already done quite a lot in this sector, you will still be able to generate a lot of benefits for yourself, specifically the visibility of the assets which go beyond sites, which can be service trucks or even the exploration vehicles or anything. You will get the emergency reporting opportunities. And finally, you will be able to save costs when you expand the open pit site. And all of this is done to generate some of the benefits which I've mentioned. They apply to our solution in general, so it is not that we are creating them with MICA from you, but they will be now accessible to those companies which work with this new generation of Symbot. And this is actually not quite it. So just before me, our colleagues and friends from LoopX were presenting. So a very important thing is that this device, Symbot, it also acts as the gateway for a variety of other technologies which require connectivity. And now we have the joint deployment with LoopX. So the platform like them and other innovative technologies will not need to build their own connectivity, and they will be available globally because they can use this device to connect to the cloud, to the internet, which will in turn help to scale their operations much faster than usually. And I think that as the key takeaway of the deployment of this solution is that we'll be able to democratize the digitization in the sector, make it available for both mining companies by saving their connectivity costs, and also by giving the access to those technologies to the emerging technology companies in the field, and all of this who will be supported by the project we are implementing. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, we'll be very happy to address them. Thank you.